You've talked about dramatically increasing the number of electric vehicles used by city agencies. How would you do that, and why hasn't it been done up till now?
Oh, and so the one fun thing right when I was leaving sanitation is we finally got an electric refuse truck to play with. And the big criticism was it was too quiet. I don't think there are many New Yorkers who would be against that. But the big challenge has really been about electric infrastructure and having enough places to charge things. And that is why we can buy a lot of electric vehicles right now, but we don't have anywhere to plug them in, and my plan deals with that.
You have also talked about a permit parking system modeled on something that's done in other jurisdictions where residents get preference for and pay for the ability to be able to park on the streets in their neighborhood. I think about that as, in the abstract, as a good idea, but then I think about the rampant corruption and abuse of parking placards and the non-enforcement policy that enables them to get away with it at every precinct in the city and all throughout Lower Manhattan.
So this is where we are going to have to use technology so that the license plate reader matches that VIN number, matches that neighborhood. That is the most effective way to deal with it, is when we take sort of discretion out of the equation and make it so that it's very black or white.
Okay. Let's talk housing, I guess, in our last couple of minutes. You ran the New York City Housing Authority on a temporary basis. The full-time CEO, who was later hired, Greg Russ, has proposed a blueprint to rescue the finances of the authority and reorganize operations. If you're elected, would you support and continue this blueprint? And how would you convince lawmakers to come along who end up, in some cases, seeing almost any change as equivalent to privatization?
I am very supportive of the blueprint for NYCHA. I am very supportive of RAD. I am very supportive of creating a housing trust. NYCHA residents need new upgrades to their apartments right now, not in 10 years or 20 years. It's a $40 billion deficit, and $1 or $2 billion isn't enough. Is not going to make the change. We have the opportunity to leverage federal money to make this happen. And so I just really want to make sure that every NYCHA resident wants to host Thanksgiving at their house and is proud of their apartment. We need to stop talking about the fact that this isn't going to be public housing in the future. Being able to leverage money does not mean we're giving up control in any way. And we need to stop scaremongering people that they could lose their apartments, because that's not what this is about. It is about improving the apartments for NYCHA residents today, not 5 years in the future or, when we're all retired. We need to do it today.
Got it. And when it comes to non-NYCHA affordable housing, everybody's got different ideas about what constitutes affordability. What's your sense of the part of the equation that most needs attention? Is it down at the very lowest end of the income scale? Is it somewhere in the middle? If you could give us some numbers.
Absolutely. So I have proposed that we need to build 50,000 units of very deeply affordable housing. I think that is where the biggest need is. But we also need to make it easier to build across all spectrums of housing. We added 500,000 residents. We may have lost some right now, and only built 100,000 units. That's not nearly enough. This is why we are all constrained by the cost of housing, is because there's just not enough supply.